Hi, Julian. How are you?
Hi there, Siddharth. I'm well, thanks. How are you doing on your side?
Not bad. It's just nippy and Durban, but it's strange because it's sunny but cold. It's weird.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yes, it's midwinter. We're in the thick of it here. Yeah, I know. So we got fires going in the evenings and keeping that icy chill out of the air. It's really necessary this time of year.
Yeah, that's true, eh? Yeah, the reason why I wanted to reach out to you is because, yeah, politics is really going wild in America, especially with the hot subject of Elon Musk starting his new party. When I saw that, I needed to reach out to someone that also follows what's happening around the world. So, my opening question to you is what was your initial reaction to Elon Musk launching the America Party? Do you think it's a genuine political movement or more of a strategic influence play?
I was personally very emotionally uplifted and
Okay.
very inspired to hear that he's going for this. Of course, remember, it's not official yet. He hasn't actually put in the papers to get the party launched. He's unofficially launched it, but we're hoping that in time he's going to make it official. Yeah, it's very positive, and I think it's a great move by him
Uh-huh.
because he was fueled by the probably the anger of the breakup with Trump and how bad the big beautiful bill was. So he's an ethical man, and he was so emotionally driven that he's decided he's been pushed over the edge, and this is the only solution. And I think it's a brilliant solution. It's very inspired to hear about it.
Okay, so you basically are saying that it's genuine and it's nothing about it being strategic or something like that.
No, I think he'll do it in time because his like much better than Trump. His Trump with brains. In other words, he's got the following, he's got the showmanship. In his own discreet way, he's
Mhm.
popular. In other words, he's got the populist movement behind him, and he's a genius. And he's got the money and the business that Trump has as well. But Trump doesn't have that genius. And so, give Musk a few years, maybe it's not going to be this year, next year, or even the next election. But you've got something building here, which is ethically sound. You see, he seems to be ethically coming from a good place and morally, and that pure heartedness can really be a great force for power, in the long run.
How do you think the America Party could reshape the US political landscape, especially given Musk's influence and following?
Well, that's the thing. As I say, like Trump, he's already got a following and a populist support.
Mm-hmm.
But this business of starting a third party has never been easy for America. The
Mm.
two-party system there kind of pushes any third parties out. And, there's so much going on behind the scenes. However, this philosophy that Musk is using, that he's going to go like a needle at the most vulnerable point with precision and force and single minded focus, in other words, uh, might have the ability of allowing a third party to split, or in other words, become a kingmaker in split decisions. And, by then having the ability to choose which of the votes or whether the yes or no is going to go one way or the other. In that way, he can subtly influence the centrist, the center, which he reckons is up to 80% of the population. That's not extreme left or extreme right. So strategically, it's a very sound battle plan. We just have to see if he can meet those forces, like the deep state, which we know is more powerful even than Trump, and other lobbies which are behind the scenes.
There's actually a question here for you from the comments section. Would you like me to ask you the question?
Yes, sure. Go ahead, Siddharth.
All right, all right. There's a question here from Jitin Rishka. Hi, Jules. Is there any hope of Trump and Musk putting their difference aside? No, Trump makes indecisive decisions.
um, no, that's my intuitive response because the breakup was on such a profound ethical issue, the big beautiful bill. And when you saw how Musk slandered and that bill as pork-filled, and those who voted for it, they did wrong, and they know that they did. He was so outraged by that that it's unlikely there's going to be a compromise, because Trump is not going to compromise on that bill. The bill's now been passed, and the whole thing was in Musk's view, immoral. So I think it's like a divorce. He's not going to go back. Anyway, that's what I feel, because he's an ethical man, and he doesn't need to. He has enough power to do it alone, basically, without Trump.
All right. Do you believe Musk's involvement in politics through his party aligns with his public image as a tech innovator and entrepreneur, or does it mark a new chapter in his influence?
It's definitely a new chapter. I mean, even if the America Party is officially launched, he has declared that it will be tech-centric. So this is a complete synthesis, but it has brought in the new political element, which Musk has now got a taste of since he has been in the White House. He's worked with Doge. He knows the insides of it, and he sees, he knows so much now. He's learned so much this past year with being in Doge and in the White House and in the Oval Office, sees it for what it is, both inside and out. He can have now knowledge to back his strategy, and I think it's going to allow him to go forward, very successfully in this whole new angle. But it's going to keep the tech, it's going to keep the finance side. Remember, he invented PayPal as well. He's going to bring all of that in, probably on blockchain rails, which is the newest technology, of course. He has actually monetized X, the old Twitter, where there is a blockchain wallet for every X account. People may or may not know that they have a wallet, but there it is. So he's going to synthesize, and he's going to make it political, and so it's a whole new rail to his journey.
Okay. Some critics say Musk could be blurring the lines between business, technology, and politics too much. What's your take on that with regard to the America Party?
No, those lines are not drawn in written in stone. As far as blurring the lines, Trump was a showman. He was a businessman. He was a real estate mogul, casinos, and other things like that. A businessman became president. Jimmy Carter was a peanut farmer. So that's not really, doesn't make a difference. As far as those lines aren't written in stone at all. And I think if one can transcend, departments, then that shows one's genius, really.
All right. What demographic or voter base do you think the America Party is most likely to appeal to, and why?
Well, as I've heard it said, it's the centrist, as I was talking about, which I don't know if it's 80%. All he wants to do is capture 2 or 3 seats in the House and a very small congressional districts, so that small weight can swing the decisions that are neck and neck, and in that way he can be the kingmaker. So it's the middle, it's the centrist element, really. The extreme left are not as big as we think they are, and they are highly funded by Soros and so on. So we can't always take them at face value. The extreme right are there, and they're quieter, and they're more powerful than we realize. You see, this is the thing. We overestimate the one and we underestimate the other. And they're there. But they're also not that huge. In America, you have they carry weapons, they have a militia, they're armed, they're preppers, and the conservatives, the landowners, perhaps, they have also their plans and strategies, and they can be quite radical, just as the left can. But the centrist is the vast majority of the public, who just want peace, and they want the right thing, and they want common sense at the end of the day. And because Musk is not captured by the deep state or whoever other players are behind the scenes, he can appeal to those who just want morally and ethically the right thing. And if he can do more like he did with Doge, then he can fine-tune and streamline society, which is going to happen anyway with the rise of AI and technology. Society is shifting to the next level, and it takes someone who can harness all the elements, not just the tech and the finance, but also the social systems which need refining and upgrading. And he can do that through politics if he's successful. I can see him being president in years to come of America.
All right. My final question to you is, do you see this move as potentially unifying or further dividing American politics? Could the American Party actually gain traction in future elections?
It's going to be tough for him to get popularity because he's fighting the MAGA movement, and the diehards there will cling to that. And so as long as Trump is alive, he may have an uphill struggle. But Trump doesn't have long to live. He's an older man. He's going to retire in 2, 3 years, 4 years. So Musk has time on his side, you could say. And I think he'll be very successful if he abides his time and he allows Trump to exit from the center stage, because it is a big staged show in a sense. And Trump is a great showman for the moment. And then Musk may well be able to, if he can build the populist vote, make the same waves that Trump did, but in a more moral kind of format. Of course, he has the deep state to fight against. So it's going to be red in tooth and claw, and it's going to be knives out all the way for him. But if he can do it, he's one in a generation. Trump, Musk even is 1 in 100 years type of person. So we give them, the opportunity and see if they can run with it.
Okay. Well, I got to say, thanks so much for your time.
All right, then. My pleasure, Siddharth. Always happy to chat. Stay in touch, then. Go well.
You too.